Hello there, AceTrainerM here. I find that in a lot of my older videos I talked about how video games are one of the most interactive, fun entertainment mediums there are, and that it can be used for great advantage, for example, in order to teach things. But I realized that even in the video game market itself, it's not being used nearly enough. Clearly the number one biggest thing that video games can do is immersion, make you feel like you're something else, and it's one of the reasons for game addiction, for game compulsion, for people losing their lives to for video games because, they're just so overwhelmingly immersive. But not nearly as many games are as immersive as they can be or should be. What I'm saying is, for example, think a new thing came out, whether it's a movie or a book or something like that, and it talks about whether it's a fantasy universe or a sci-fi universe, something like it brings up a really cool concept, and you're like, oh wow, that's really cool, I wish I lived in that universe. And, and I just figured that video games are probably the biggest, best solution at the moment to making these things a reality, or something that we can experience. Because, for the most part, all the universe is not something we would actually like to live in real life, because they're way too dangerous. But, there's still something we would love to experience, and video games offer us this thing. But not nearly as many games use this aspect to really immerse us. They just use this thing that we want, but they don't immerse us in the experience. For example, let's take Harry Potter. So Harry Potter was and still is quite a phenomenon when it comes to fantasy in general, and the world of wizardry it introduces is really big and fun and wondrous, and a lot of people would love to experience it. And the closest thing we have at the moment to experiencing Harry Potter is Pottermore, which is a website that, J.K. Rowling created. And, it's not bad, but it's really not the best we can do. Imagine how easy it would be. Generally making games is hard, but from the point where you already make a game, imagine how easy it would be to make an immersive Harry Potter experience. That way you get into a house and you just study and you go on adventures, or you just fight wizards or something, anything really. Because at the moment the best we got is the Harry Potter video game series, which was usually a pretty lame adventure series with usually bad controls that followed that story of Harry Potter. And that's not immersive. It might be fun, it might be interesting, but it's not immersive at all. As a medium that can take immersion to a level that we can't experience in any other form, it's strange just how little we actually use it in our games or something. Even Pokemon, which is a game that's all about your own adventure and your own story, and lets you customize a lot of things, whether it's your Pokemon team or your own look or stuff like that, it's still not as immersive as it can be, because you don't have the choice of what to do, and a lot of times there are things in the game which take you out of it. For example, getting a Pokemon from a different region, or trading or something, and you see that the other person looks exactly like you, just things which throw you off. It's not really immersive. It's hard to, give legendary Pokemon the value they deserve when you go online and you see everyone has these Pokemon in shiny form. That's so all these games, even the games which do this better, can take it to such higher levels, the levels of immersion which they offer. I think one of the best games for immersion is Skyrim. It's a great example. It's a humongous game that you'll probably never get to experience in its entirety, and the whole game is purely up for the player to decide, and also what your player looks like and what you do. And if you're not satisfied with the game, you can even add mods and just a great example for a great free world where you can really immerse yourself. But the thing that makes it so good, so immersive, is not only the freedom it offers you as a player, but also the entirety of the world and how it's crafted together very well. Like, you can find different places, and it's all part of the same lore, and it's all with the same tone, and it's fantastic. Not once in the game do you tell yourself, oh, this isn't immersive at all. Like, okay, there's some bugs here and there in the game, but unless you know about the bugs and try to exploit them on purpose, you probably won't find them, and that's good. But, of course, making a video game is very hard, so we have to be very selective about what we make an immersive game, what we don't. But the truth is that especially big companies that have IPs for big names, they already spend so much money on making these games that taking the extra mile and making these games an immersive experience could make these games not only sell well because of the IP, but just because they're really good games in general. And that's the key thing here. Like, think of all the IPs which, aren't from video games, that are movies. For example, think Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings is a bad example because they have fantastic games. Think, I don't know, Spider-Man, Superman. Stuff like that, they have games and they're really badly made, and, with the budget which they've used for, you'd figure they can make something so much better. Like, Superman 64, for example, is one of the worst games, at least considered in the game market, as one of the worst games ever made. And yet, it sold so much. Just imagine if the people who made this game got all the negative reviews, got all the money from all the sales, and said to themselves, maybe it's time we make an immersive superhero experience. That being said, you should be careful with the way you make the game immersive. If you just give your player free control over whatever, and you make sure that the lore is stable and stuff, it's not enough to make the game immersive. Or maybe the game shouldn't be immersive. Not all games should be immersive. That's a key word here. But the genre can pull off immersion so well. So we just need to know when and how to do it. And that's generally the point I'm trying to make here. So what do you think? What games would you like to see immersive? Send me a comment or something. I'll see you guys next time.